Imagine you have received an invoice. What do you do with it? Does it come in paper version? Does it come in PDF? Does anyone have to enter the data from the invoice manually? Or do you have some tools to capture the data from there? Once you entered everything to Business Central, what do you do next? Do you take to someone to approve? How do you do that? Do you send it to approve by email, or do you literally take the printed invoice and knock on the door of your colleague asking to approve? How much time does the whole process last? And then lastly, let's say five 5 years from now, the audit comes and they ask for an invoice, a certain document. How fast can you find it? Imagine, imagine what if you had a solution that could automate all of this process for you. So no longer can you enter data manually, no longer do you need to search for your colleagues to approve them, and you can find it in seconds. This is the solution that we are talking about. The solution star at Continia Document Capture. In this screen, you can see only a couple of customers sharing their feedback of what life is with document capture. We have Polaroid, who shares that even though they grew their company from 150 to 300 employees, and of course, substantially, they managed to grow the number of documents that comes to the company, there was no burden on their finance department. On the other hand, we also have Basecamp representative Monica, who is sharing that she is still impressed how fast does document capture handle the flow. They have more than 45 companies across the world, and it is really impressive how the document comes and then document capture distributes it to the one that is needed. So, how is this done? Very simple yet powerful 5 steps behind the screen. So, first, not the process is the same. It's nothing would change from your perspective on how you do things today. Only you would be working in a bit smarter way. Document comes, let's say invoice, credit memo, prepayment, purchase order, regardless what you throw at document capture, it will capture it. There are various ways to do that. It might be PDF, it might be XML, it might be paper invoice. Regardless of the method, there is a mailbox who would pick up your document. As of the next step, OCR behind the screen will capture and index the data and add it to Business Central. Typically, we see these three main ways or methods how customers are handling this part of the process. So, first is handling the simple cost invoices where data is captured and then added to Business Central. Second, it is matching the invoice against the purchase order that you have just made to the vendor. And lastly, it is utilizing a really advanced functionality of line recognition. So, three methods. We are going to have in the live demo a look at one of them. Then, the third step is, of course, sending to approval. Once the data is ready, the next step is to have someone approve that the data that we entered is a correct one. Again, quite many opportunities there. The responsible people can approve based on the amount, they can do that based on the dimensions or based on the vendor. So it's up to you, up to your processes in the company, up to the way you are doing business today. Once the representatives, responsible people approve the invoice, then it goes back to the finance people. They have all the comments on their table. They can review it and post it. And I already mentioned audit. Let's say the audit comes and all you knew is specific word yeah, from the invoice. Nothing of a problem. Whatever touches Business Central becomes searchable. So you enter this to the search, and the document capture will throw out all the invoices that contain this particular word. I will show the demo and we will do this, of course, manually. So the whole step, the whole process will be a bit longer. However, the one thing that you should keep in mind, you are the master of the process. You can have it from 0 to 100% automated process. That is, no steps will be required from your as finance people side. And with this, let us move to the actual demo and see how does that look in reality. We are in Business Central. Everything will be the same look and feel. Continia solutions, document capture, just like other solutions of Continia, are fully embedded in Business Central, which means the learning curve for your employees or yourself will be quite minimum. If you know Business Central, you will know how to work with document capture. So I am Esther, the finance controller. I am logging into my Business Central and now I see a new role center where document capture. And I see that there are, so you can here in this view, you will be able quickly check what invoices need my attention? Are there any invoices or other documents that I need to approve or leave my comments in? Are there any credit memos that arrived? And are there any purchase contracts for me to have a look at? Everything will be there in your Business Central view. So in this case, I see that there are 12 new invoices that are awaiting for my attention. So let's check them out. I go to the invoices and I choose the first one, which is First Up Consultants. Now, you might be wondering, so how did document capture knew which vendor should it match the incoming document, incoming invoice? There are various ways. The most common way is yes, we will look for VAT number. Let's say VAT number is not available, then document capture will search for any other available information, company name, address, registration number, anything where it can check and say yes, this is a correct match. So in this case, we see it was First Up Consultants. Uh, on the right, we can see the invoice itself. So let's say where we want to say it bigger, we want to check the exact data, we can zoom in, we can zoom out. This is the view what you are going to have with every window that you open. In the middle, you will see the template itself. Now, what is the template? So the template is where all the information was captured. In this case, let's quickly have a look at. We see the value was there, and as soon as I right click with my mouse, it shows points out to direct place on the invoice where I can check was that correct amount or was that correct value? Did the document capture identify the correct place on the invoice to capture the information from? I can check the date when it was received, the date when it will be due. Again, there's a lot of validation behind the screens. In case the date on the invoice do not match your payment dates, payment terms that you have set in Business Central, you would get a warning below. Please check whether you want to overrule. So the system will let you know. I had a responsible person who is Robin. Let's imagine I don't like it. Let's imagine that document capture made a mistake. This is the first time the vendor sends us an invoice. Of course, we want to review it. And let's say RB is not the way that I want the system to throw out information. I right click with my mouse on their exact location on the invoice. That's it. It captures the right name and the last name. I don't need to save anything. The next time it will be there. Let's say, okay, then I have amounts. Of course, VAT amounts with some amount without the VAT, with VAT, and so on. And document capture will recognize whether it was a credit memo, whether it was prepayment, or an invoice. Just for the sake of registration of a demo, let me show you what would happen if I will try to register the invoice now. So let's click off registering, and oops, I cannot do that. Why I cannot do that? Document capture warns me there are some comments I should have a look at. Where do I do that? On the bottom. Okay, something is in red. You must specify account number. Yes, I haven't added, this is GL account and I haven't added account number. I will choose the one for office supplies. Do I want to remember? Do I want document capture to remember it the next time? Yes, please. I click on yes, and basically we are done. We can click on register, and this is it. Our part is over. Now, of course, yeah, for the first time, I want to review the information document capture captured. But the more comfortable you would get with the solution, the less time you will see checking your and going through the templates. You can leave the solution to take this part of the work and do it for you. Now, I have registered the invoice. Now, as of the next step, I need to send it for approval. Just as mentioned, it is sent. Just as mentioned, the approval will go on the predefined path workflow. You can have a person approve the invoice based on the amounts. If the amount is up to 1,000, let's say euro, it goes to the manager of this person, a manager of their business line. If it is above 1,000 euro, maybe it goes to CEO, and whatever is your liking. Then the other option is that you can approve the invoice based on dimensions on the invoice, or based on the particular vendor, that from this particular vendor invoice goes for marketing to approve, and then for the other vendor it goes for operational department to approve. Now, what are the ways to approve? In this case, the invoice was sent to Robin. I am Robin, and I will need to approve the invoice. How do I do that? Let me just go back to Business Central and synchronize the actions. Robin, who is responsible for the invoice, we have a couple of options. First, he can do that directly in his Business Central. He opens up Business Central, he sees Document Capture Role Center, and then he sees all the invoices that need his attention, that need to be approved. The other option is a web portal, a specially designed portal by Continia for managers to approve invoices so that they do not become a bottleneck for the team. If you only have a web browser and you have an internet, you are going to be able to approve invoices that are sent for your attention. With this, let me go and access the web portal. So, with this, I am entering the web portal. As you might see already, the one invoice that we sent for Robin to approve, it's there. It's first up consultants and Robin, who is joining, who is accessing web portal, have multiple ways to work to put an action on this invoice. He can approve, he can reject, he can forward, put an invoice on hold and approve, or put on hold. If he needs additional information, if he needs more details, by all means, he can check the invoice itself. Not only will he see the data that was entered, but also he will be able to check the actual invoice itself. In this case, let's say all is fine. I approve the invoice and it's gone. Let's go back to Business Central and let's synchronize it again. So back to Esther. I am Esther, finance controller. I see that there is one invoice that has been released. I check the invoice. All looks good. All looks good. And then I can, if of course, if there were any comments that Robin would have left, I would see those comments here and I can post it. Basically, this is it. And you can, just like with previous step, you can have all these steps uh, automated 100%, no manual work for you. And now, lastly, for the last step, imagine the situation that the audit comes. So the audit comes, they need to check some invoices. All you remember that it was a chair that they're looking for. What do? You go to document capture search functionality. You click here, you enter chair, and all of the invoices that contain the word cheer are thrown out to you in seconds. So it's a really powerful solution from start to end. From the moment the invoice reached your mailbox to the point where you need to find it. You need to find it in seconds. Back to the slides. So why document capture? If you are working in finance, if you are recognizing yourself in these situations, that you are tired of mistakes that come on a repetitive basis, if you are tired of wasting your time on putting all those data manually, if you would like a solution to handle your repetitive invoices based on the subscription mode, this is a solution for you. There are many benefits that come with a solution, but this time I would like to point out the one that differentiates document capture from other solutions on the market. It is embedded built-in Business Central, which means that you will have the same look and feel. You will not need any third party integration. Your people will have the same views, the same fields, the same tabs. The learning curve for them will be quite minimum, and there will be no risk something will crash every time there is new Business Central version released by Microsoft. It will be there. The solution is there already. You go to Microsoft App Source, you download it to your Business Central, and you can use it. As of the next steps, if you recognize yourself in these situations, if you think that document capture can help you just like it helped thousands of customers around the world, I would encourage you to contact the partner on point who would check your situation, who knows your business, and who will adapt the solution to your preferences. And of course, I would encourage you to download the solution and test it for free for 30 days. Thank you. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you. Join happy crowd of Continia Document Capture customers.